Hi, I'm Elise. I'm a junior here at Harvey Mudd. And today we're underneath Harvey Mudd in the Libra complex, and we're going to show you a little bit about the machine shop as well as the Makerspace. So starting off, we're here with Drew, who's one of the people who helps run the machine shop and can tell us a little bit about what's going on.
Hi, I'm Drew Price. I'm the machine shop manager. We're standing in the student metal shop. The metal shop is open at least 4 to 6 hours every day, and it gets used for some curricular class projects. It also gets used for clinic projects. It's open for personal use, and myself and the team of students that work here are here to teach anyone who wants to learn how to safely use all the tools and use all the equipment for whatever projects might get you really excited to work on, even if it's something for your dorm, for a hobby, or for class.
Awesome, thank you. So you can see we have some lathes as well as some mills, just about anything that you would need on the metal side working of making things. For example, we'll go outside and we can show you there is a class called E4 that a lot of students take, and in that class you end up building a hammer, and you spend a lot of time in the shop while you do that. So because you end up milling these different parts of the head of a hammer, as well as using the wood shop to make the handle of the hammer. Of course, also as Drew mentioned, you can use this for any other classes as well as just fun projects. One of my friends worked on making a skateboard from scratch here in the shop, but there's also all sorts of range of artistic, mechanical endeavors you can do. Then if we turn just this way, you end up in the Makerspace, which is in our newest building here at Harvey Mudd, and it's a really lovely space where you get to spend a lot of time, if you want to, working on personal projects, or maybe working on stuff for a club or for a class. And there's a bunch of different smaller scale as well as just complementary tools to the shop here. So for example, here we have some electronics workstations, including soldering, oscilloscopes, all sorts of things that you might need if you're doing an electronics project. We also have over here a kind of fun thing, which is parts of an airplane that students are building as part of a lab. There's a professor who sent out an email that was like, hey, I'm interested in flying and building an airplane. And a bunch of students responded and said, hey, I am too. And sure enough, they started building an airplane that actually they completed one a couple years ago, and it started flying, carrying actual real human people, which I think is kind of crazy. But they're working on their second one, which you can see some parts of here, as well as some of the tools that are used for that sort of metalworking. I think this is also a great moment to talk about how this is student run. So that project is super student driven because students really wanted to build an airplane. But also the rest of the Makerspace is student run, which means there's student leadership who get trained on all the different machinery here in the Makerspace and end up running it. So if another student comes in with a project idea or wants to use a piece of machinery, then one of the students running the Makerspace, called a steward, can sort of step in with knowledge of how the machines work, project management knowledge, and it ends up working out really well if you have like a costume you want to sew for Halloween the next day, or if you have a sort of larger scale project as well. And those projects also can be sponsored by the school. So if you have a project idea, you can actually get Harvey Mudd to pay for your project. There's just a simple form you fill out, and you can get $50, I think, a semester or a year to do that project, as long as you provide them with updates. We also have, I mentioned some of our electronic stations. We have a welding station over here to work more with metal. And then we also have a bunch of work tables and sewing stations. So we recently got an embroidery machine as well as just normal sewing machines. We have a lot of knitting needles, crochet needles, all sorts of crafts things. You can see some crafts things as we go by. And also, over here we have some of our larger scale machinery, such as a multiple 3D printers ranging from like hobbyist level to the very large industrial scale 3D printers, as well as laser cutters, water jets, all sorts of things for working with materials. Yeah, so that's a little bit about the Makerspace. Thanks for joining me on this tour, and we hope to see you here.